What does that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today I will be reviewing the immensely popular Ticket to Ride from Days of Wonder. This game is for ages 8 and up. It is for 2 to 5 players. It'll take you about 30 to 60 minutes to play it. This game is about you building trains all across the country, trying to complete routes and gain more points than the rest of your fellow friends and family, as they are train tycoons as well building. Let's look at the box. On the front of the box we got some people waiting for the train, and we have a nice little blurb down here saying they've sold over 2 million copies of Ticket to Ride, which in this industry is absolutely outstanding. This is also one of the most popular games on the planet in the hobby game spectrum, at least. On the back we have a picture of what comes in there, which I always appreciate when they do that. They show you the nice little the map you're going to get, and some of the different trains and the cards, and they also have a brief description of I have absolutely no idea, because this is not a story-driven game. It is Ticket to Ride, and it is all about building trains from here to there and everywhere. Is that good? Is that bad? Let's open it up and find out. Alright, so inside a Ticket to Ride, here is all the stuff you're going to get. Let's go over it real quick. First and foremost, you're going to get your paperwork, and there's a lot of paperwork for some reason. There are 5 little pamphlets you're going to get here. Don't worry, you will only need 1. The other 2 are, the other 4 I should say, are about different Days of Wonder games and their apps and what have you. But this is the one you want. This is your instruction booklet. Don't blink or you will miss it, because it is only 2 pages, double-sided, full color. It is a very short and sweet rule booklet. They have compacted everything down into exactly what you need to know, and you only need this 2 or 3 times because the game at its heart is very, very simple. But there's a great deal of strategy, as you will see. Next, you're going to get your cards. Let's go over the cards. The main cards you're going to get a lot of these, are the train cards, and they all represent different colors, as you can see on the board. So you're going to have red cards, you're going to have white cards, and blue cards, and and orange cards. Pretty self-explanatory. In order to complete this track from El Paso to Oklahoma City, you will need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow cards. So you'll be trying to accumulate all those yellow cards in order to complete that. The other special card, the only special card I'd say, is the locomotive card. This serves as a wild card. You definitely want to have these in your hands because they are just incredibly valuable. Another kind of card you're going to get, and we'll just go over this one real quick since there's only 1 of these. This is the longest consecutive route card. So that means if you have the longest consecutive route, all the trains are all matched up and going the same way and what have you, at the end of the game, you will gain an additional 10 points, which is very nice. The last kind of cards you're going to get are your ticket cards, and these will have different locations on them. So for instance, this one says Los Angeles to Chicago. So if you get this ticket and you keep it, your goal for this game is to go from Los Angeles to Chicago in any way, shape, or form you want, as long as everything is connected. And there are various different ones. There's some long ones. For instance, Vancouver to New York. That's a long one. That'll give you 20+ points. There's also some short ones. I know there's Denver to El Paso, which will only gain you 4 points, but you're probably going to get it every single time you take it. So it's a risk versus reward when you're picking out these ticket cards. It is a train game, so obviously you're going to get trains, and the trains are fantastic. They're plastic, but they each come in their own little baggie. You got 5 players, so you're going to get 5 different colors of train. They are very serviceable. They're fun to play with while you're waiting for your turn, if you choose to be immature like I do sometimes. You're going to get your wooden pegs, which will help you keep score, and you have your 5 different colors. And as you might have noticed on the outside of the map, you've got all these numbers. These numbers on the map symbolize where you are score-wise, because some people like to do it like that. They like to keep score as they are playing. It's a nice, really nice little feature that Days of Wonder decided to add. So if you get 7 points, you take your little guy and you go to the 7-point marker and you move it around the board. Also looking at the board, taking a look, you're going to notice it is a big map of the United States of America with a little bit of Canada sprinkled in there. And you've got all the different colors, as I mentioned. To go from certain places, you're going to need a certain amount of train cards. So El Paso to Houston, you need 6 green cards. You also notice these gray ones right here. Now, these gray ones symbolize that you can have 2 of any color as long as it's the same color. So to go from Kansas City to Oklahoma City, you could have 2 yellow, 2 green, 2 white, 2 what have you, as long as they are the same. Another thing that I want to mention real quick, we're playing a 2-player game. So normally if you were playing a 4 or a 5 player game, 2 people could build from Kansas City to Oklahoma City. One person could put their trains right here, and then another person could put their trains right here. But since we're only in a 2 or 3 player game, you can only have one person occupying this route, which will change your strategy in the game. We went over all the components. Let's show you how the game works real quick. So to start off the game, each player is going to get dealt 4 train cards. You do not want to let anyone see this, so I got pink, red, white, white. No, you know, it's not a great starting hand, but it's not a terrible starting hand. And then you're going to get 3 tickets. Now you have to hold on to at least 2 of these tickets. You have to hold on to them. You can take all 3 if you want to be gutsy. So let's look at the tickets I got. I got Portland to Phoenix for 11 points, so it's not too long of a route, and it's Portland to Phoenix. We have Vancouver to Montreal. This is a pretty long route going up top Vancouver all the way to Montreal, but as you can see, it's worth 20 points, so that's a lot more points. Then we have Montreal to New Orleans, which is down here. So I really don't have the greatest starting hand because I got one thing going here, one thing going there, and one thing going here. But either way, I'm going to have to hold on to 2 of them. So for me, what I'd probably do is I'd keep the 2 that have me going through Montreal. So I would try and go from Vancouver to Montreal and from Montreal to New Orleans. So I'd keep these 2 tickets. I'd put this 1 ticket on the very bottom because it may get used later on in the game. And all the different opponents would keep their tickets. They say, I'm keeping 3 tickets, I'm keeping 2 tickets, what have you. And then you can start the game. So when it is your turn, you have 3 actions you can choose from. The first one is you can draw 2 train cards. Now how this works is you can pick any of these 5 cards that are here to the side. You will need someone to keep control of these cards because you're going to be constantly flipping them over. You can pick any of these cards except for the locomotive, which I'll get to in a second. So you can take these face-up cards, but you might say, all right, I don't need any of these cards. What you can choose to do is you can take one of these face-down cards. Now this is a gamble, but what can happen is, let's get to back to locomotive. If you decide to take this locomotive, then you only get 1 card. Your turn is over. But if you can take 2 red cards. You say, all right, take this red card, and I'll take this other red card. So normally you can take 2 cards. However, if you take a locomotive card, you only get 1. But there's one little catch to that. If you gamble and say, all right, I want to take this top card, and then you pull off a locomotive, so you're lucky, you get to pick another card. So you get a locomotive and you can get another card, which is why I really like sometimes to pick from the face-down pile, because you can gamble and try and get these locomotive cards that will help you. That's one of your options. You can pick 2 of these cards. The next option you have is you can lay trains. So let's just look at my hand. I might say, all right, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4 with a locomotive red card. So I'm going to build from El Paso to Dallas for no particular reason. So I would take 4 of my trains. I would give these cards to the card master over here, and I would build from El Paso to Dallas. This is now my route. No one else can go from El Paso to Dallas unless they want to go all the way around. So I'd say I laid down 4 trains. I'd look down over here at the handy little scorekeeper and see, since I laid 4 trains, I get 7 points. Now, here's one of the interesting aspects of the game. If you lay down these medium routes, you're going to get medium points. If you lay down these really small routes like this 2 from New Orleans to Houston, you'll get 2 points. But if you hold onto your cards and you go for these big routes, for instance, El Paso to Los Angeles, which is 6 trains, you will get 15 points. So it is really important that you gain some of those 6-pointers if that's part of your strategy. So you can build trains, you can get tickets, or you can get train cards, or the last thing that you have an option to do is get 3 new tickets. So you can say, all right, I'm going to get 3 new tickets because maybe I've completed my route, or maybe I just want to have more tickets, whatever you want to do, but you have to keep at least 1 of these tickets, and this is when the game kind of stops because everybody has to say, all right, we got to wait for him to pick his tickets, but you have to keep at least 1 of them, so you might say, oh, keep 1, and then you would go about on your way. You would continue doing this until someone either has 0, 1, or 2 trains. At that point, everyone has 1 more turn, and then the game is over. At the end of the game, what you're going to do is you're going to tabulate up all your trains if you haven't been keeping score. So, you know, the 6 one's going to get 15, the 2 are going to get you 2. You're going to see who has the longest consecutive route, so they'll gain 10 additional points, and then you're going to look at your tickets. For every ticket that you have successfully completed, you'll get those points. So let's say you completed this one and this one. So you would gain 25 points. However, you were not able to get from Montreal to New Orleans, which means you lose 13 points. So you absolutely want to be completing your routes when you get them. And that is how you play Ticket to Ride. Alright, Ticket to Ride from Days of Wonder. What are my final thoughts on this game? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. We'll start on the con side. The outside score marker, I like it. I think it's a great idea. But what can happen sometimes, especially if you got experienced players and new players, is sometimes the more experienced players, or sometimes the new players, will forget to move the marker, and then you'll have to redo everything at the end of the game, and it can get a little bit tedious. Other than that, though, I really don't have any problem with Ticket to Ride. There's a reason this game has sold 2 million copies. There is a reason that this game has won all of these awards, because it is, in my opinion, the best hobby game on the planet. Now, it might not be the most deep game. It does have some strategy. It's not too terribly much strategy, but for 30 to 60 minutes, this is the best 30, 60-minute game I think you're going to find. It is, let's just start from the beginning. The thing I really like about this game is it is a fantastic gateway game. You can play this with your 8-year-old kid. You can play this with your 80-year-old grandma who played Monopoly when she was a kid. And everyone will love the game because it is easy to pick up. It is easy to understand. It's fun to learn. It's fun to play. It's fun to play with all the little components. Everything inside of this game is well crafted and well done. The board is great. The trains are great. The cards, they're a little bit on the small side, but they are good. Ticket to Ride from Days of Wonder is a game that you should own, or you should live very close to someone who owns it, because it is a must-play, a must-try, and a must-own. Ticket to Ride, Days of Wonder, absolutely would recommend this game. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was a review for Ticket to Ride. For more reviews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.